hadn't realized until I was just looking this up how many years they actually did play together, Steve Blass and Bill Mazeroski. Steve, we really appreciate you taking the time here. My God, you had Bill Mazeroski at second base and Clemente in right field. That must have been a good feeling as a pitcher, yes?
Well, you're standing on the mound. You got Willie Stargell at first. You got Maz at second and Clemente in right. Hey, go ahead, hit the ball on that side of the infield. I'm going to go get a sandwich. When I come back, you'll be out. 3 Hall of Famers. Yeah, pretty nice feeling. Almost as good as when Bill Verdon said in the 72 Pirates, even after we won the World Series, it's nice to get in the car and go to the ballpark when you know you're going to get 5 or 6 runs to work with. So, yeah, that was a good group, and Maz certainly an integral part of that, and certainly an integral part of my life, to be quite honest. It was like a punch in the gut Saturday morning to get the call, and I'm still kind of processing all that. There's so many aspects to it, but I'll just start with the fact that I don't know if I've ever run across a more genuine or decent person, forget about baseball, in all my 80-some years of life as Bill. He was so consistent. I think if you find that word in the dictionary, you'll find his picture beside it, because he never changed. He was a small-time guy. He did something spectacular. He had a great body of work before that cherry on top of the ice cream, and he never changed. All the accolades came to him. He never blew his own horn. They came his way, and boy, did they ever. He was the best, maybe the best second baseman in the history of the game. And then he does this spectacular thing. For a humble guy, he wasn't asking for that home run. He was just happy to play baseball.
Steve, it's funny. We live in a culture now where it's a me first. Everybody has social media, putting out their own stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And Maz, to your point, almost was apologetic for everything that happened to him. Like, I'm just a member of the team. He downplayed just about everything. And I found that
reluctant. Yeah. Reluctant superstar. So reluctant, but got bombarded by that question, that home run question, how many thousand times, and was always gracious about it. You're right. He never brought it out himself, but he always responded to people. He was polite. That's the way he was brought up, and it was, he was one of those guys that helped me go from a ball player to a major leaguer by just watching him. I remember my first spring training was '61 down in Fort Myers, right after they won the World Series, and I got invited. We didn't even dare talk to those guys, those minor leaguers. But my first impression of Bill Mazeroski, watching him play second base and a throw coming from shortstop or third base, and never, ever really resting at second base. All that throw did was turn direction. And I was 18, and I was just dazzled by that. And even when I became a rookie in the big leagues, I kept seeing that part. But then Maz, who never said much, kind of took me under his wing. 3 things I remember. He told me, first of all, you're in the big leagues now, kid. No excuses. People don't know. They don't care why you failed. They want to know why you succeed. Secondly, don't ever forget the name on the front of the uniform is more important than the back. And how about this, down and dirty, saying, by the way, if anybody asks you for your autograph, be flattered and sign it so they can read it. Because, Maz could have signed his name Maz forever and it would have been fine, but he writes it that long, Mazeroski, out, and you can read it, and it's one of the most identifiable autographs you can find. So these life lessons that, he didn't say much, but when he said something, it had, resonated.
That it's a good point you make about that autograph, because I remember Arnold Palmer probably had the best autograph. He and Maz shared that same belief. That if someone wants you to sign something, they should know who is signing it. They shouldn't have to guess. Yeah. If guests look at it and say it's some scribble that you see today in a lot of guys. You have no idea what that is.
And both of those guys from Western Pennsylvania, I wonder if they ever talked about that, but had those kind of principles and that kind of awareness of and being flattered to do the right thing. You can't pick out guys that do different things great, but I know those 2 guys from our area. We got pretty lucky to have those 2 guys.
Man, I'll say. Steve, where were you? Were you already signed by the Pirates when he hit the home run in 60, or what do you remember about watching that and that whole thing?
Yep. Oh, well, I was 18 years old. I graduated in 1960 in June, signed with them, and, of course, kept track of them all year. And then, true story, one of the few true stories I tell. I worked 2 months of, rookie ball, and then I went home and got a job working with a carpenter. I was making $250 a month, and I entered. I put a couple bucks into a pool. I won $9 because I had the winning run being scored in the bottom of the ninth. How about I won $9, bottom of the ninth, number 9.
Wow!
I won $9 on Maz. It was pretty cool, but I watched that team, and what a heck of a ball club. And I was a big Cleveland Indian fan. I wanted to sign with them. They were my heroes. They offered me a $2,500 bonus. The Pirates said, "We'll give you $4,000." I said, "Give me a pen. Where can I sign? Where can I sign?" and then it works out. This journey I've had with the Pittsburgh Pirates now in my 66th year has all those things come by me, and I've experienced. So everybody has dreams. Not everybody gets to live them, but I continue to live mine. All the stuff that was brought to me by signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates, including Karen and I moving to Pittsburgh in 1964, small town kids, boy and girl, and the welcome that the city of Pittsburgh and its people gave to us that still means so much to this day. So all these mile markers, how lucky did I get?
Well, I think Pittsburgh's lucky to have you too, man. Now, you did some wonderful things. 2 complete games. You don't see that anymore in a regular season game, let alone World Series games. I mean, that's pretty stunning.
Very, very proud of that. And, this thing with Maz getting that phone call, by the way, Saturday morning, this trail, think of it, Dave Parker, Dave Justy, Elroy Face, and now Maz. Think about, you go back to Parker finally gotten into the Hall of Fame, but two relief pitchers, 2 great relief pitchers, Justy and Elroy. And by the way, Teak is working on a second heart, so keep an eye on him.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
he's doing fine.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's doing fine. He's doing fine. But
crazy. He's gone.
I think this legacy. But we're all kind of in an age. I'm going to be 84 next month, but I'm in that wheelhouse of seeing people that I grew up with in the big leagues and pro ball and spent a lot of time with and got to be friends with. I mean, Karen and Mylene got together, Bill's wife, and she passed away. And it's just, I know it's part of the deal. Nobody lives forever, but it's never easy. But Maz just so darn dependable to be the same way. He and I roomed for a couple of years. One quick story. On his birthday, September 5th, 1969, I hit the only home run I ever hit. We were rooming together. On his birthday, my home run out on the streets of Chicago at 4 o'clock, we celebrated very, very thoroughly. The next day, of course, I didn't have to play. Maz did. And he said, every ball that went up in the infield, I saw 7 balls and I caught them all. So we made it count. But that reminded me of when I was a kid of 18, down in spring training, infield practices. Whenever a ball was hit up in the air, the first word you heard, the first sound you heard was from Dick Stewart. Maz, plenty of room, wherever it was.
Good idea. Good thinking by him.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Big Stu had the right idea with that one.
So, Steve.
So many stories. Yeah.
Yes, yesterday, Sportsnet Pittsburgh replayed the 1960 World Series on TV, and I found it just, and you've touched on this, what the condition of the infield was like. I mean, there were potholes and holes everywhere. It just further heightens how great of a defender Maz was.
Yeah, well, he set records on that surface. When we went on the road before we moved over to Three Rivers, they would put the tarp on for the whole trip wherever we went, and it would bake it. There were visiting teams, and I witnessed this, that would not take infield practice because of the condition of that infield, and that's where he set his records. And I have great respect for the guys that broke those records on the carpet, but I don't know if they could have broken those records if they played on the same surface.